Okay, welcome everybody to CISG PCMG 16. Sorry for the long title, but this is the first conference for us. For those of you who've been in CISG before, we've gone into a joint marriage with our sister group PCMG for the first time to try and bring together a number of themes as we exist in an increasingly changed environment with complexity, motorbikes, 24/7 operations, mixtures of architecture that are on-premise, in the cloud, hybrid, trying to demonstrate value quickly to our stakeholders, and having new development methodologies like agile competing with traditional governance structures that don't handle that very well. So Mark's going to come up and just talk a wee bit about PCMG in a minute and the rest of the conference, but I just thought I'd cover a bit of what CISG does to avoid the traditional AGM that we used to have. We don't have it anymore. A lot of you will breathe a sigh of relief. So just to say, over the last year, the group's been quite active. We've followed on last year's conference with a seminar on identity management, and then in April, a very well-attended learner analytics seminar. And in November, just a couple of weeks ago, we repeated our second webinar on data security challenges, looking at Safe Harbor, EU, US Privacy Shield, and GDPR. And the feedback from that is that GDPR, I think most of you will know, is coming in May 2018. It's on a lot of people's minds, so we'll be looking at events over the next year that are going to give you some practical guidance on how to handle some of the issues that entails, certainly deleting data convincingly, archiving it, and some of the things we have challenges with today. The other thing we do is the CIS survey, annual survey. That's still open. We've had 97 institutions as of yesterday that completed that. We're trying to beat last year's target. So I've got a list of those that haven't done it, and I'm just going to read them out. When I call your name, can you stand up? No, I'm not going to do that. But we do have, it's important we do get as full a comprehensive completion of this as possible. So there is a laptop at reception desk. If you think your institution hasn't done it, because we might name and shame later, please go down there and fill that in. It doesn't take too long. And the results of that will be coming out early in the new year. Hot topics for next year. We just had a meeting this morning about how the groups are going to coordinate this better. Certainly for CISG, we've got January, we've got bookings open now for our sort of 2-yearly briefing session with UCAS, HISA, SLC, and hopefully the ICO for the first time. It's a great chance for you guys to come along and for them to tell you what their plans are over the next few years. We're going to be looking at SaaS, the good, the bad, and the ugly, trying to get some case studies of successful implementations where that's gone wrong, some of the data integration issues that you may have, and the changing skill set maybe for our developers and moving into that new world of SaaS. We've also had discussions around staff and students as co-designers, and we'll be looking at products and tool sets to aid that, how you can prototype, work with those communities, possibly a toolkit around how you can compete with that guerrilla IT development to show why it's maybe a bad idea to do that in Access and to work in a better way with you. So we'll be developing that later on in the year. And as I said before, the general data protection regulation, we're going to be doing some more of that space. So there you go. CISG, the committee's always looking for new members if you are interested. And it's a great opportunity. It's great career development, good for networking. I think all the other current and past committee members will vouch for that. If you are interested, then please meet a member of the committee and just talk about what that's like, and we can do that. We will be manning, I think, the info stand at the reception area during the break time, so there is somebody there for you to come along and talk to if you're interested, or to raise any other topics that maybe we're not covering and you're interested in and that we want to do. Also, this is a plea as to, the visitors are through there and that wall, I think, yes? The exhibitors, they really help pay for these kind of events, keep the costs down. They're a valuable part of that, and hopefully you'll get something good out of that. So there is a sort of bingo card ticket that you can get around reception. You can get into a prize draw if you visit 9 exhibitors. So please take time to go and visit them, get them some value out of this as well, and hopefully win yourself a prize. Okay, well that's enough from me. I'd just like to invite Mark Ritchie from PCMG to carry on.
Okay, thanks very much. And it's great to see so many people here today. This is our first multi-day event for Project and Change Management Group, so please be gentle with me. So I'm Mark Ritchie, I'm the chair of the Project and Change Management Group, and I originally conceived the group and set the group up about 4 years ago. So we still have that kind of interest of being new kids on the block, and we've recently recruited a number of new members. And we could actually have 2 committees. Maybe we should have 2 committees, that would be fantastic. There certainly seems to be enough work around. So when we set up the Project and Change Management Group 4 years ago, we had 3 main objectives, and this is in retrospect, this is just looking at how we set up and how we set our stall at the very start. First of all, we knew there was a practitioner community within higher education. It was often talked about how bad project management was or change management was in higher education, yet we were professional people working in higher ed. We didn't think that was fair, that was even truthful. So we wanted to build and support a practitioner community of project and change management professionals. We also wanted to develop things of lasting value based on the best practice of individuals within the community, so things that people have been doing at their own institutions that they hadn't been able to share, but we shared a lot of value to others. And we've done a lot of that. We've had 5 of these toolkits. I brought this up just to say our latest toolkit, which is about establishing a process improvement capability. That's available in the stands outside if anyone wants to pick that up. So we wanted to create a number of resources that would be useful to you in your institutions. And lastly, we wanted to encourage a project manager without a sponsor isn't really that much use at all. So we wanted to really encourage partnership, both within institutions, but also across UCISA and across the community. Now, looking back over 4 years, I think we've come quite a long way towards those aims. On our mailing list now, we've now got more than 450 people on the list, and it's quite an active list. Being project managers, we love measurement and all that kind of thing, so we do measure the kind of engagement we get on the list, and we look at what topics are coming up. We've also got more than 300 followers on social media, so it's mainly Twitter that we use, so we put a lot of things out there, and it's amazing how often things that are produced by UCISA aren't necessarily known about that widely outside the sector, and we've shared a lot of things with America and different places through our social media account. So we've developed these toolkits. I'm hoping that people in the room will be aware of them, but just in case you're not, we've got one on project governance, we've got one on risk management, we've got one on benefits management, we've got one on establishing an effective PMO, or a project management office, and we've also got the one I've just showed you, the establishing process improvement capability. We're going to do a session on those on Friday morning if you're up for that. We certainly will be. It'll be 9:15. It's the graveyard slot on Friday morning. But if you want to come and find out about our toolkits and find a bit more about the group, we'll be there for you. So I think we've achieved a lot, but best of all, I think we can start to see and feel that shift towards greater partnership working within the community. We've got the activity on the list. We had a meeting this morning. It was the group chairs and vice chairs all meeting together, so not just the groups in silos, but actually meeting together to talk about common concerns. And I think there's evidence all over the place of better working together. Not least of all this conference, despite the ungainly sort of title, CISG, PCMG, it's actually quite a good thing that this exists. This is the first time that this has happened. And I want to thank UCISA, colleagues in CISG, for their support in making all of this possible, because without the UCISA organisation, then none of this would happen at all. And when I first set up the group, I modelled it on EDUCAUSE. If you know the EDUCAUSE constituent groups in North America, I thought about EDUCAUSE North America as being an appropriate model. In fact, when it comes down to it, UCISA can be more powerful than EDUCAUSE, because we're more connected up and we're prepared to produce resources and share and do all kinds of things that really don't happen to the same extent within North America. So, why is all that important? Because the challenges facing us as professionals in delivering change are considerable. I mean, where do we start and where do we stop with a list? You've got students as consumers. We've got disruptive technologies that are changing the way we do things forever. We won't change back. We've got legislative demands, whether it's about immigration or whatever. There's lots of things happening. We've now got to talk, well, we've got Brexit as well. So rarely has change been so pervasive or so profound within in our sector. However, therefore, it's my belief that by working together and sharing our best practice and sharing our common experience and knowledge, we can actually face these challenges and succeed. We really need to, in fact, if we are going to succeed. And I think the last few years have shown that we can do that. So John and I hope that this conference excites and stimulates you to think some more about project and change management, how you deliver change within your institution. I think as JFK, John F. Kennedy, famously said, one person can make a difference and everybody should try, which I think is a beautiful quote. And I'd like to thank all the people that have made an effort and had made a difference for this conference. So we've got our conference organising committee, our speakers, our sponsors, and you, CISA, and also you for actually supporting the conference coming today. So thank you for making this a reality. So to get us started then, enough about me. I'll be back on Friday anyway. To get us started, I'm delighted to welcome Professor Deborah Humphreys. Deborah's the Vice-Chancellor at the University of Brighton. And in her role as Chief Executive, she is responsible for all aspects of management and leadership at the university. The phrase herding cats came to mind when I looked at that. So it's a big job and a very appropriate one, I think, for our conference. Professor Humphreys, or Deborah, is an experienced educator and a leader with a track record of success in senior roles at other organisations such as Imperial College London and the University of Southampton. Even more interestingly, I think Professor Humphreys originally qualified as a registered nurse and worked in the NHS for 20 years. So we've got someone today who's got a view as a practitioner as well as a policy maker, and that alignment and joining things up is surely important to what we do. Deborah achieved a PhD in 1999 on the implementation of policy into clinical practice. Now, I did timetabling policy into timetabling practice, which is maybe not nearly as important, but you get the idea there is some synergy there. Deborah is a passionate champion for equality and diversity, and as she says in her talk today, it's all about people. And isn't it nice to have a talk like that at the start of an IT-type conference? I think it is. So Professor Humphreys brings with her a rich set of values and experience as both a practitioner and a policy maker to inform our theme of successfully delivering institutional change. And we're really delighted that she's agreed to share these insights with us. So please give a warm welcome to Deborah Humphreys.